What's up, everybody? Friday Night Keefy here at GhostColdMag.com, headquarters north of San Francisco. I don't know if y'all know this. I'm getting married soon. So, word. And I am going to be a resident of San Francisco for not too much longer, but I'll be in the Bay Area still for a lot of shows and things. It's Friday night. Let's have some fun. It has been a week. Let me fucking tell you, it has been a week. So I'm just gonna adjust my camera here a little bit. But yeah, back at it with a fun-filled week of rock and metal news. If this is your first time here, thanks for being here. I know you are inundated with channels to follow and cover, and I am thrilled and impressed when anybody wants to hang out with us. I'm not sure what the fuck is going on here. All right, thank you. No, thank you. Let's see. It looks like we got some people here on the tube of you, some people on Twitch, some people on Facebook. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. Hang out and drop a comment. As I always say, this is also your show. It's not just my show. We will always have a free show, and that is for facts. What is going on in the fucking world here? Hold on a second. Sorry. One more second, everybody. I'm trying to get my shit together. Okay. Just making sure the tick of the talk people are here as well. So we got a fun-filled show. Let's get into it with the fun deck that I made. This is a fun photo of me. Very bright here. Very bright and very blue. I'm very blue today. Mr. Blue. But anyway, thanks for being here. Again, you could watch anybody's programming. Hope you're having a safe and fun weekend. I'm going to bust open a Liquid Death convicted melon, just like our president. A convicted melon. All right. What a time to be alive. Let's get to it. We always start with the announcements. I'm still changing how I do this part of the show. But just to start things off, last weekend we were hosting the Wacken Metal Battle New York City Finals. And now the Nationals are coming up in or the semifinals. We're hosting the finals for New York City area next in 3 weeks with our own Omar Cordy, the co-owner of Ghost Cult. You see him sometimes here on the channel doing interviews. Chasing Vinyls here. What's up, Chasing Vinyl? We had some Record Store Day news for tomorrow. But yeah, we're media partners of Wacken Metal Battle. Bands compete in a battle of the bands to play the Wacken Open Air Festival every summer in Wacken, Germany, the longest running metal festival in the world, actually. Also, we are still giving away tickets to see Echo and the Bunnymen. You got about exactly a month left, or a little less than a month left to enter. We are not paying for travel or lodging, but if you're anywhere within a striking distance of Los Angeles, enter to win and go see Echo and the Bunnymen do their complete discography, greatest hits, everything, deep cuts at the Greek Theater in LA, which is amazing and a fun time. Also, here's our tip menu. If you're feeling tipsy, we do have money from sponsorships and some advertising, but we are like a small band, a DIY business, trying to build a metal community for everybody. And that's kind of how we've always operated, to be honest with you. And I want to keep it that way. So, all good. Imagine people messaging me while I'm trying to do the show. Well, what are you going to do? Anyway, there's our tip menu. If you're feeling tipsy and you're here, Zybo Man is here. 1 ounce of weed is here. Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you here. Let's see if anybody has joined on the gram. Not really, but okay. It's later than we normally go on a day we normally don't do lives, but we have been getting back to Thursdays. Today was just, this week was extraordinary. Imagine growing up on metal and hardcore and you're still a bootlegger. I don't love Sex Pistols, but this thing spoke to me. I can't imagine why there are so many right-wing people who are like claim punk and metal. It's just not possible. Punk and metal are inherently anti-fascist and just anti-racist by nature. They always have been. There's always some dickweed. I'll tell a story in a little while. There's always some dickweed who has to make some comment. But anyway, time for the features. And as usual, we do the features. This is highlighting stuff we did this week at Ghost Cult, just kind of letting you know in case you missed it. This is huge. We had an exclusive Q&A interview today with Zoe and Ashok Smerda. They used to be part of Cradle of Filth. If you were following that story a few months ago on the internet last spring and fall, it was an extremely ugly, bitter split with the band. Zoe left the tour. Ashok tried to finish the tour. They were summarily fired or quit. Lawyers got involved over contracts and disputes about who is actually a contractor and who is a member of the band and what that entails. I've had nothing but good dealings with the management of Cradle of Filth. So Des and Anastasia Fafara of Oracle Management, great relationship with Des over the years, great relationship. I interviewed Danny a few times, met him a few times. He was super nice to me and us and thankful and appreciative of our coverage. We talked during the pandemic but there's definitely some crazy shit that went on between the couple and the band. So, our one of our best contributors, Morgan Y. Evans, contacted them, and the questions were very frank and thorough and direct. There was no beating around the bush. It was like straight to the point. Zoe and Ashok sent those questions and answers they wrote to their lawyers to make sure it was okay to talk about. There's not like a slamming. It's just kind of a statement of fact. Plus, really the focus is on what Zoe is doing now with Catalyst Crime and Ashok on tour and writing new music. So that's what the interview is about. We're not about clickbait and drama, but I thought it was, interesting to say the least that we got this very frank and candid interview with Zoe and Ashok, and best of luck to them. Also, I did a live stream earlier in the week. We'll talk about it a little bit in the regular news part, where Iron Maiden got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Of course, the comments are still like, Wu-Tang is not rock. Oasis is not hard rock. Sade is not rock. And thank you for enlightening us with your genius brilliance. What's up? Pelican is here. One of my favorite bands ever. Hope to see you guys when you come back to America. And new album, I think, coming soon too. Iron Maiden, Phil Collins, Billy Idol, all in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is antithetical to being in punk and metal, I totally respect that. I think it's a nice little end, a little exclamation point. Not that Iron Maiden needed one on their career at all. Here, I'll unbiggen this just to make this bigger. Also, this week on our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, I got to interview Ashmedi of Melakash. They have a brand new album out, EP out now on Reigning Phoenix Music. Melakash, Ashmedi has been in the music business for 25, 30 years as a recording artist. He's got a new full length coming, I believe, in the future. No date yet, but this new EP is killer. And it was a really great interview. So check it out on the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. Also, I interviewed arguably the greatest living rock drummer, Vinny Appice. Him and his brother both say Carmine Appice, not Vinny. I have interviewed Vinny, but Carmine Appice, of Cactus. They just put out their new album, Temple of Blues 2. Carmine is great. Vinny is great. They both say their names differently. And Carmine is wonderful. This new Temple of Blues 2 is mostly covers with an all-star band. It's pretty rad. And Carmine is awesome. I never liked the phrase. It's often in their press notes and their press notices. They're called the American Led Zeppelin. I don't care for that. I think like that takes away the power and excellence of Cactus. So I just like to always respect them as just a great band. Also, in case you missed it, our interview with Neurosis is blowing up, over 4,000 views on YouTube and our podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you come here because of Neurosis, thank you. We have more coming soon with them. We'll be announcing our album of the month tomorrow for February. No, March, excuse me. Death Clock Tour kicked off this week. We were covering the very first show in Arizona. We have a brand new interview with Brendan Small. We've interviewed him a bunch of times. He's awesome. Seems to really like Ghost Cult. And yeah, we're really proud of this one too. More stuff coming soon next week. Once again, this show will be a podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, people seem to like podcasts. Yo, dog, I heard you like podcasts. Also, the Glacially Musical Podcast will have a new episode this weekend where we are kicking off our new series on the early days and early albums of AC/DC. It's a little convoluted with them early on with their local Australia, New Zealand, Australasia, whatever you want to call it, New Zealand releases versus when they finally branched out and got to release their albums on a bigger label in Europe and America a year later. But check out that episode when it drops. And now it's time for the news rundown. The rest of the news. Hey, Wheat 13 is here. Nice typo negative logo there, friend. Let's see what else. Hey, Annabelle from Hell is here. Hi, Annabelle. Good to see you. Also, let's do the news rundown. Now we get into the thick of things with metal festivals. I'm going to fly through this kind of quickly. Roadburn is this weekend. It's already 2 days in. We are there again. In case you didn't know, Ghost Cult was founded as a zine in the Netherlands in 2012, the year of the Doomsday prediction by the Mayans. So that's why we have Culty, our mascot and logo. We have covered Roadburn just about every year it's existed. Dante Torrieri is there hanging out, shooting all the bands, reviewing the bands, covering every day. The next 2 days are packed. The Boris is the artist in residence performing some of their classic material. Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean, Dan Meyer, DJ Haram, Inter Arma performing all of The Cavern. Kiss the Anus of a Black Cat. That is a crazy name. Collapse. Lily Refrain. Planning for a Burial. Primitive Man performing all of Observance, which was their last album, and many, many more. Street Sex, Slow Crush, Warning, fucking killer. That's tomorrow or Sunday. And Saturday at Roadburn is Acid Mother's Temple, Amentat, Ava, Bitchin' Bajas, Blackwater Holy Light performing Not Here, Not Gone. Boris doing all of Pink. Dalek, Heaven in Her Arms, Heavy Jazz, and Ragnarok Extended Sextet. Campfield, Moloch, Oathbreaker performing all of Rhea. That is their classic banger album. Primitive Man again. Just, Slift. Just very cool, man. Just very cool. Slow Hole. Great stuff. Coachella kicked off last weekend. It's happening again this weekend. Obviously, we'll talk more about Nine Inch Nails of everything soon. There were some hardcore bands, Turnstile and Drain and other bands like that played, but obviously Nine Inch Noise was the big premiere. And we'll talk about the album that dropped today. Rockville, Welcome to Rockville has announced all their stage times. That's coming up in about a month. Hyperspace Festival is this weekend. We are also media partners of this. You can see our logo on one of their posters. Sanctuary, Edge of Paradise, and Atavistia are your headliners. Sick New World is next weekend. We are back covering it again with our team of Kim Hansen and Matt Kochek. System of a Down, Korn, Bring Me the Horizon, Evanescence, Marilyn Manson, Knock Loose, Cypress Hill, and Ministry, AFI, Cold Chamber, Lords of Acid, Orgy, Failure, just Kitty. It looks awesome. Prepare the Ground is coming up in Toronto very soon with Amun Ra and Pallbearer, among others. I think Oathbreaker is also on this. Svalbard playing their first and last ever North American show. Very sad. Maryland Death Fest is coming up yet again for their 21st anniversary. Summerfest is like a month-long festival over June and early July in Wisconsin. And they do have a metal day, and they do have rock and metal bands. Megadeth was supposed to be the co-headliner of one of their days, and they dropped out and replaced by Kerry King solo. I think it's the only Kerry King solo show so far this year. So pretty interesting. I'm still looking forward to seeing Kerry live for the first time with his solo band. Also, I usually put cruises and destination festivals here. A Day to Remember's Big Old Boat Show has been announced for later this year. Knock Loose, Devil Wears Prada, and more. Day to Remember, good band, fun to see live. I don't sit around listening to their records. Tell me if you like A Day to Remember. All right, that's all the festivals. Now it's time for the concerts. We told you last week about the Unholy Halloween Festival concert, kind of one-off. Dimmu Borgir, Satyricon, and Enslaved in Oslo on Halloween. That is already sold out. Maybe they'll add another date. Halloween, we were in New York City tonight. Omar was in New York tonight covering Halloween with Beast in Black on their 40th anniversary tour. We had an interview with the band. Killer new album. Really fun stuff last year. Killswitch Engage has announced some extra summer tours. They're playing a bunch of festivals also. But they are playing some summer shows with Machine Head opening, which I found to be hella interesting. Jimmy World has announced the Bleed American 20th anniversary tour. I'm very excited about that. Great band. Seen them a bunch of times. A Clock tour, we told you that kicked off this week with Amon Amarth, Death Clock, and Castle Rat. We will have coverage coming soon to Ghost Cult from the kickoff show. Exorder and Skin Lab continue their tour together with local openers at every show through April. So you have a few more dates to catch them. You can check a review out at ghostcultmag.com right now. Pussifer's Normal Isn't tour continues. I'll be catching that tour in a little less than a month. Pretty excited about that. Dave Hill, the comedian, is opening. Flesh God Apocalypse North American tour, including dates opening for Avatar and headline dates, is coming soon. We gave away tickets to this tour. Was super proud to team up with them. More giveaways and contests coming soon to Ghost Cult Mag. Also, I saw this tour Wednesday night in San Francisco, the Godless Four, featuring Behemoth, Deicide, Rotting Christ, and Immolation. Killer show. Amazing death metal fans. I'm not a huge fan of the venue. The sound there is pretty bad, but the show was exceptional. It was packed. It was not quite a sellout, but almost. There were maybe even more fans there for Deicide than Behemoth. The merch was crazy off the hook. It was a fun crowd, a very diverse crowd, which I like to see. And we'll be covering this tour in a couple of weeks in St. Louis. So look out for a review for this later in the month. But I just got to go casually and enjoy the show, which was wonderful. Also, Black Braid is on tour right now in the UK and Ireland. We covered this show this past week in Birmingham, the home of Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and half of Led Zeppelin. So Black Braid European tour continues on. I love the new Black Braid record, one of my favorite records of last year. Seven Dust kicked off their new tour with Atreyu, Fire from the Gods, and American Adrenaline. Still crazy about that name. Seven Dust's new album, One, comes out on 5/1, May 1st, May Day. John 5 has rescheduled his European tour that he had to call off or postpone. That's now rebooked for later in the summer. I'm supposing when Motley Crue is not busy. Ginger is kicking off their new tour soon with Crystal Lake and Entheos. Very killer. New albums coming soon. There's so much new music coming out. Cryptopsy dropped a gruesome not safe for work video. Don't click on it if you're at work, but it is crazy work. This is Floyd Nation, one of the world's best and biggest Pink Floyd cover bands, and they dropped their own cover of Have a Cigar in advance of an upcoming headline tour. This is them outside of Abbey Road Studios. I would like to go there someday. I'm a huge fan of Pink Floyd and, you know, a bit of the Beatles and stuff like that. Wilhelm Scream, we just posted our review of their previous tour, West Coast tour. They have spring dates coming up next week, starting in Montreal, so the Midwest, central U.S. and Canada right there. Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto is sold out. In the East, Detroit, Chicago, and Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland. Followed by European tour dates, and then later in the year, they're in Latin America. We'll share that with you all soon. All right, we're at the midway point in the show. Let's shrink that down. I'm back. Let's talk turkey. Let's talk. The big news of the week. It's time. Just a quick reminder for our affiliates, if you want to rock an awesome beard like I have, you need yourself some Fable Beard products. Fable Beard is an affiliate partner of Ghost Cult. If you sign up with the link in our description, you get $10 off your first order. We get free merch. Look at my awesome beard. I am getting ready to get married. I had to take some engagement photos. I never thought I was going to be on camera in the first place until I started doing these YouTube videos, so here I am. Check out Fable Beard. Also, we are part of the Lamb Goat Media Network. As I say every week, Lamb Goat is the meaner version of Ghost Cult. So definitely check them out if you need an ad campaign or something. Also, once again, saving my ass, Craig Caruso. Today, there was a brute force attack worldwide where a bunch of WordPress, like thousands of WordPress sites, had a brute force attack of plugins implanted in everybody's site that affected Cloudflare and caching and logins. It was absolutely insane, and Craig saved our ass within about half an hour. So I was really thrilled. Again, if you got any kind of web-based business, you need a break under glass emergency dev if you can't afford a full-time dev or you're not a programmer yourself. So thanks, Craig. And also, if you're watching this anywhere except TikTok, what's up, Vic? You're watching this as a result of StreamYard. StreamYard's our partner for this. We're paid through the year. I do believe eventually we will migrate to Riverside, but StreamYard is your almost all-in-one streaming experience. All right. We're also on all the socials, so if you found us on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or whatever you're here from, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend. Biggest stories of the week. So here is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In case you missed it, we did a whole live stream on it. You can go check it out at our YouTube. It's one of the pinned posts there in our live channel as well as the main channel. In the Hall of Fame, Phil Collins, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden. Joy Division New Order really surprised me. As much as I love their music and I'm obsessed with them, I really never thought they would quite get in, and I made a case as to that helps other bands get in since they got in. Oasis, I don't think groundbreaking, but obviously hugely inspirational and influential. Sade really didn't. I think she's got a wonderful voice and some great songs. I didn't really think she had a Hall of Fame career, but okay. Luther Vandross, amazing R&B artist, and the Wu-Tang Clan enter the Wu. I know people are like, this one's not metal, that one's not metal. It really should be the Popular Music Hall of Fame and not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But anyway, other people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now include Saya Cruz, the great Latin artist, Fela Kuti, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, under early influences, along with Graham Parsons. I did not stop hearing stories about Graham Parsons when I was in Joshua Tree recently. Linda Creed, Arif Martin, Jimmy Miller, and Rick Rubin for musical excellence, and Ed Sullivan is also getting an award. Okay. What else happened this week? Well, in addition to playing at Coachella, then Nine Inch Nails dropped their new collab album with Boys Noise today, 9 Inch Noise. I listened to it. It's rad. We have a brand new review up on our website if you want to check it out. It's one of the first few posts, and I thought it was pretty incredible all the way. I've listened to it twice now, and I loved it. And I love this photo from the live stream that I grabbed of the band. Pretty sick. And yeah, more like that. It's basically all remixes and covers of Nine Inch Nails related bands, and the Tron Era soundtrack, and How to Destroy Angels with Mara Queen, Trent's wife. But yeah, I would love more of this. Please give us some originals. Please give us some more remixes. He seems rejuvenated by this. Also, tomorrow is Record Store Day, and I know Chasing Vinyl was here on TikTok for a second. You know, Record Store Day is in the morning, and me and my fiance are going to get up and go to the store. And, you know, there's a lot of controversy. I think a lot of record stores are pushing back. I have been saying for a long time on my other podcast, the Glacially Musical Podcast, that Record Store Day kind of needs to evolve and change past what it is. And now it seems like what was originally created and intended to drive people to record stores is kind of bullying record stores and maybe not serving them. Apparently, Kanye's record label just dumped a bunch of new Kanye vinyl variants on a bunch of record stores. Some were happy about it, some were not. And a lot of people don't want to support him or carry them. They were hoping like, oh my God, I can't believe we got these records, but fuck that guy. So anyway, record store day, more to come on that. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try my luck at the stores tomorrow. I did pretty decent last year, but we'll see what happens. I think the spirit of record store day is kind of diminishing a little bit what they hoped. All right. This is super sad. Lyndon Laney, who invented Laney amps. If you love Black Sabbath, the sound of Black Sabbath is not Marshall's, it's through Laney's, which was always Iommi's brand. He passed away after a very long life this week. So very sad. Evanescence announced a new album and lead single and lyric video. Electric Callboy has a brand new album coming out. They dropped a new song. Pretty fun. Frozen Soul dropped a new song. That's their second new song in 3 or 4 weeks. They're on tour right now with Avatar. Pretty killer. Killswitch Engage has just popped up in my feed right before the show. Killswitch Engage was on Jeopardy. Was a Jeopardy question. Just kind of crazy from their record in 2019 on Metal Blade. A bunch of new music was announced. We already talked about Electric Callboy and a few other bands. Spirit Adrift has a new record they announced, possibly their last record ever. Chemist has a new album. I don't think I got the photo for that one in time. From Ashes to New put out the deluxe edition of their recent album with some new music on it, so that's kind of fun. Jungle Rot has a new album with a new video coming soon. This is Hillbilly Vegas. They actually have a brand new song and video called Mr. Midnight with a guest lead vocals by Paul Rogers, former, of Bad Company, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Bad Company, and formerly of Queen. So that's kind of fun. What else? Genghis Tron is back with a brand new album, Signal Fire, coming soon. Really fun that they came back. I didn't expect them to come back, but that's just super fun that they did. And yeah, not sure why this is not working. Maybe it'll work now. There we go. Genghis Tron, very excited about their return. That's 2 new records from them in about 5 years. A couple of weeks ago, we told you Duff's had a big flood and alcohol power outage. They're back open. They did the At the Gates listening party on Thursday. A lot of fun. Also, it's a film documentary season. I know the No Effects film is making the rounds. I know it was in San Francisco tonight. I did not get to go because I'm out of town. Frampton, a biography documentary, has been selected as the Tribeca Film Festival coming in June. It's about the 15th anniversary of when I met Ozzy doing the Tribeca Film Festival. King Snake Jake, haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're well. Long time no see. I hope you're back, and I hope you're good. It's been a minute. We're just probably not on when you're around, but I hope you're well. Always appreciate your commentary. So Peter Frampton, I was never the biggest fan, but cool that he's getting a documentary. It obviously helped Billy Idol recently. There's also a documentary coming out about the Lunatics, a band I absolutely loved growing up. I saw White Zombie, a terrible noise rock White Zombie, open for Lunatics. Just not good, White Zombie. But Lunatics always ruled, and I love them. So I'm dying to see this. There was a book not too long ago about them, so I'll have to follow up and try to see if I can grab the book and follow up on this documentary. Des Rocks is a rocker from New York City on Sumerian Records. He's coming out with a new album, dropped a new single and video. Also Courtney Gaines, who we've interviewed before. You know Courtney best as a horror movie actor, but he's also got a musical career. Courtney was a teenage star of Children of the Corn, the first one. He wants you to, Malachi. Yeah. So that movie fucked me up for decades. I'm not kidding. I could never go into an ice cream parlor ever again, if you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. Dad killed right in the middle of his strawberry milkshake, bro. Thanks so much, King Snake. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, Courtney Gaines, killer new band, killer new song. We had a recent interview with him. Our own Don Dillamont chatted with him. This is not news, but this is just fun. So Kerry King moved from Las Vegas to New York. He still goes back to Vegas to see the Raiders. He might still have a house there. I'm not sure, but he moved to New York City with his wife, Aisha, and they were spotted on the train in Manhattan. And Kerry, who has had a career of being like, I'm not political, I hate fucking politics, they're all shitty. He definitely had a couple of controversial takes in the 90s that kind of made him seem a little right wing. But, generally speaking, he's, obviously anti-religion and not a fan of politics. Whereas like Gary Holt of Exodus and Slayer is extremely liberal, right? And I think Paul Bostaff is too. So Aisha and Carrie are spotted on the train going somewhere, and Aisha is wearing fuck Trump leggings. So Carrie may not be political, but Aisha King absolutely is. And I tip my hat to you, Aisha. Killer. All right, time for New Music Friday. We are flying through the show. Let's talk about the new records that came out. April is such a busy month, and obviously this is not counting New Music Friday. Also, COC and Clutch Wednesday, great show. We have a new interview coming out. Spoiler alert, we have an interview coming out Monday with COC. So stay tuned to Ghost Cult for that on our YouTube and podcasts. But yeah, man, of course that show would be rad. I don't love COC is one of my favorite bands ever. I love Clutch live, and I like their records, but I don't sit around and listen to them. Does that make me weird? I think that's about right. But Clutch, great band live. So I don't know. The last few weeks we've been having trouble with YouTube flagging us or whatever. So I'm just gonna read the list, and these are new music. I'm just gonna read band, album title, record label, and what genre if I can. Killer fucking doom metal band Abrams Loon on Blues Funeral Recordings. American Sharks, Not Dead Yet, Permanent Teeth Records, fun band. Let's see, Avon, which is like a stoner rock supergroup. Black on Sunshine on Go Down Records. Azeola Cry, who's a progressive rock band, Dysphoria Ritual on 7D Records. Boy Witch, self-titled on Green Man Records for some stoner psychedelic rock. The Cosmic Dead, Beyond the Beyond on Heavy Psych Sounds for some more psychedelic rock. Super into this band, Crippled Black Phoenix, Sikedjuheim. Sorry if I said that wrong. They are a British or a multinational metal band, rock and metal. Let's see, Crypt Crawler to the Grave on FDA Records. Dud Swains, a black metal band on Svart Records with their self-titled. From Ashes to Reflections is their new record. We just talked about them. Godsnake, Inhale the Noise on Massacre Records. Gout, this is some banging sludge and doom metal. Gout, their record is Actual Bastard, EP self-released. What else came out this week? Kill the Silence, Resolve EP, Last 10 Seconds of Life, The Dead Ones on Metal Blade Records for some death metal. The Last Vinci, 15 Minutes at a Time on Narrow Door Records. Layla Abdul Rauf, Andros Insidium on 20 Buck Spin. Layla is the vocalist of Vastum, the black metal band, and a few others. Lungburner Dogma, self-released. Masters Ashes, How High the Mighty Have Fallen on Time to Kill Records for some death metal. Necrogoblicon's new EP, The Boiling Sea. Again, a band I love watching live. I don't enjoy their records as much, but they're not bad. Pink Noise, Flesh and Bone EP for some hard rock. Reeking Aura from New York City for some avant-garde death metal on The Promise of the Moon on Profound Lore Records. So many records. Silence Equals Death on From the Ashes EP, Upstate Records for some hardcore, punchy hardcore. Thunder Mother, Live and Alive, a live album by the heavy metal band on Napalm Records. Wage War, the metalcore band It Calls Me By Name EP on Fearless Records. And Warside, Cognitive Extinction, Gruesome Records. That is all the new music coming out this week. Still trying to figure out what to do with this segment. Now it's time for the mailbag, and then the show is over. So let's just embiggen me. Me, damn it. Me. Me too. If you get that reference, I love you, because I love that movie. Okay. Last part of the show is the mailbag. I have a meager thing this week after a bunch of huge unboxings the last few weeks. I normally don't promote anybody else's website or anything else that's kind of in competition with us, unless it's peers of mine that I respect and like. But a new music website came along that I really do like, and it's actually sanfran666co.com. And this is the brainchild of Will Carroll of Death Angel, who launched a record label. It's to put out his bands like Nefarious and his new band. There's a couple of other Bay Area metal bands on this label. And so I just wanted to kind of show some support. And I got this cool hat. So this is a cool, I have a million of these trucker hats, these snapback trucker hats. I may be actually becoming a douchebag by having like 50 or 60 of these hats. They probably cost a penny to make. I like supporting bands and supporting people I like. So if you want a San Francisco Bay Area eye view of coverage of the metal scene here, what the club scene looks like, what shows look like here, and you're really a direct link to the best bands right now locally, you want to check out San Francisco. I think I said that correctly. So you'll be seeing me wear that hat around tomorrow. Anyway, that's the show in a very manageable 37 minutes or so. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a week. We'll be back at the regular time next Thursday. And as we say every juncture at this time of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. I'm going to see myself out with the outro, and you guys don't drink and drive, and have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy Record Store Day. Take it easy. Peace.